Hey guys, welcome to a bit of a rambling video again. I actually really like to do these kind of rambling episodes sometimes where I just, talk about stuff. Usually it happens at nighttime, which it is right now. I was about to go to bed, or in fact, I went to bed and I was like lying there and thinking about stuff, and I figured, you know what, I'll just get up and play some games still and just kind of like think about certain things and trying to come up with decisions and yada yada. So I figured I'll make a little bit of a video. I even made a little bit of a list here where I wrote down some points of what my thoughts are about certain things. And this is all about content creation in general and the whole let's play versus streaming thing. And that's a topic that keeps popping up for me every few months or so. I always have this like debate, the struggle between choosing between kind of content creation on YouTube versus streaming. Technically there is no need to choose anything or something. It's all fun. It's all a hobby. But I can't help but feel that every time I stick to one thing, after a while I feel like, oh, maybe the other thing was like better for me, and vice versa. So I feel like one thing that might help is to just document sometimes what I'm doing a little bit for myself so that I can look back to it after a while and realize how I felt about certain things, But yeah, and just trying to be a bit more analytical about it too, trying to figure out why I don't like certain things over other things. So yeah, that's kind of what's keeping me up right now. Stupid, unimportant stuff, really, but still interesting to me. So, I was actually like thinking, I made a realization the other day, pretty big realization. I'm sorry, like I said, it's late here. It's like 3 a.m. almost. Bit tired. I was thinking about what kind of content am I creating versus what kind of content do I want to create versus what kind of content am I consuming as a viewer, right? And normally when you start out with like let's plays, you're usually inspired by someone else that you like to watch. Content that you like is something that you want to recreate as well. When I started out doing YouTube stuff, I was watching a lot of. There were two main, I guess, two main genres of content, maybe if you want to call this. There was the Minecraft Let's Plays when they still started out. The very early stuff like talking vanilla Minecraft and alpha version where people didn't really put too much effort into stuff yet. That was sad. Like people like X and Co. Those people made videos back then. And the other one was really high quality research let's plays of games I personally liked, and also games that seemed interesting to me, but I never got to play. And the top one there, the top let's play I always watch was Sugar Conroy, which I still sometimes watch once in a while. But his let's plays are always it's always games he already played. It's never a blind series, and it's always a series he researches a ton of stuff for. Like it's like a guide, and he puts a lot of effort into his videos. He explains everything, where everything is. He even does practice runs, so he knows that everything works smoothly in the episode. If there's like collectibles, he usually has some sort of info popping up telling you what number of collectible it is, where you find it, out of how many, what it's for, etc. Like really informative, which is really impressive. That always really impressed me. And that's the kind of stuff that got me into Let's Plays. That's where I like discovered them. I can't remember now, but I almost feel like I learned about streams before Let's Plays. I do remember watching people stream on, what was that site called? The one before the Twitch. I think it was just livestream.com or something, or .tv. I can't remember if I watched those first or Let's Plays, but it was kind of probably around the same time. And that's also when I then, started to make my own stuff. But, after watching Sugar Conroy, for example, I dived more into other games as well and other channels, and then discovered, for example, Two Best Friends Play. That was one of my most favorite and most watched channels until they recently, unfortunately, broke up, I guess, if you want to call it that. It's no longer there, unfortunately. But it also opened up more like, I started watching more Let's Plays of normal games I enjoy that weren't necessarily as, informative as the ones from Sugar Conroy, and also started to watch more blind Let's Plays. I really like blind playthroughs of games, especially games I already knew. It was fun to see reactions of people that haven't played the game yet, that you kind of know, and you know, if you know, like, oh, this really cool epic part is about to happen, that person doesn't know yet. It's just fun to like see the reactions and stuff. So that was really like my favorite type of content. The whole Minecraft series, you know, like just very sandboxy and seeing people's creativity, and then also just, you know, mostly blind playthroughs, or like I said, like Sugar Conroy's playthroughs that are very informative. And you know, I've watched this kind of stuff for many years, until recently really. But yeah, the other day I was like you know, thinking I am making this type of content, let's say with Minecraft, or with the other games I make, like Metro Exodus for example, and you know, Fallout, etc., which is, the Minecraft stuff is like, you know, just my stuff, but that one is a bit more edited than other stuff, I guess, and almost trying to be a bit more tutorial-like, although less so than it used to be. I think, like, for example, in the Beaver Tech Pack series many years ago, I tried to be way more like instructional. No, what's the word? I don't know. I tried to like make things sound more like a tutorial, I guess, explaining how certain mods work. Nowadays, everyone is so much more knowledgeable about mods that I usually get taught, which is kind of fun. And I'm more like, oh, let's just dive in and figure it out together, right? And then, you know, Metro Exodus, for example, just an example. Any other game that's not Minecraft, I suppose, it's always usually blind and not much editing at all. You know, it's just like whatever there is, just cutting out the boring bits. If there's like repetitive stuff, like dying to a boss several times in Dark Souls, or having to travel back to a location we've been to, you know, it's not interesting stuff. Usually that kind of stuff I cut out. And so these are the things I make, and you know, you would assume you always make the content you also watch, because that's what you like, but I realized I don't actually watch the content anymore that I used to watch. I don't watch many Minecraft series anymore. The ones I watch nowadays are people I have been sub to for many years and watch for the personality. So when it comes to, well, actually I'll talk about this in a bit. I kind of categorize the things I watch now. I don't want to like mix it up here. But then, like, for example, like Let's Plays, blind Let's Plays, or any Let's Plays of other games, I rarely watch. Like, I went through my history of, like, watched videos and such, and there really isn't anything in there anymore that's related to that. So there's kind of like, I guess, 3 categories of YouTube content I watch. Something I call, or, you know, just made up word, let's call it real-life entertainment. Those are shows that are not gaming related whatsoever. They're usually some sort of comedic, in comedic nature, and, you know, like I said, no gaming, it's like random stuff. So for example, the biggest one there are the whole like FPE channels, like the Fine Brother stuff, like React to, Try Not to Laugh, that kind of stuff, right? These like short 10 to 15 minute videos where people have just some like mini games or react to something interesting. I really like those channels. I've been watching those. I don't like a lot of like React channels in general. I just like their channel for some reason. And, you know, having watched them for so many years, you kind of get to know these people and you get to like them. And so you kind of come back to see, I don't know, you just watch them for them. And the other one I watch like a lot, like every day, multiple times, probably, is the Good Mythical Morning with Red and Link, right? Like anything Red and Link does, I watch like a ton of. That's kind of almost my main entertainment on YouTube right now. And then there's always these odd videos in between that YouTube suggests based on these 2 things. There's often like, you know, they often suggest like old, I don't know, Red and Link videos or something that I haven't seen that I'll just watch and while I wait for the next episode to come out. And yeah. The other thing is that gaming wise, most of the stuff I watched or watch tends to be co-op Let's Plays, and doesn't really matter which format it is in. The only 2 channels I've been watching a ton of, I would say, have been Game Grumps, which I've been watching for many years, and I'm still watching it because that's hilarious and it's short. You know, it's like these short 10-minute videos you watch a day that just are filled with like jokes and laughter, right? It's just good feels when you watch these, right? It's super entertaining. And then the 2 Best Friends channel, like I said, but they, you know, shut down, so that content is gone. And, you know, they didn't do anything special content-wise. It's just usually two of the guys playing games, and that's it. With two best friends, they sometimes had a series that they played that they already been playing or played before. Like the last ones they made was the Devil May Cry Let's Plays. They went through like all the other Devil May Cry games again, and they were pretty knowledgeable about those games. So that was kind of interesting to see, like, you know, what they like about the games and all that knowledge they have about it. But even like the blind playthroughs they've done and such, it's just entertaining because it's like multiple people. I like that. I think that's the content I like now when it comes to gaming. It's just this like social aspect to it, which is weird because I'm like super antisocial, but maybe that's why I like it, because I don't have that in my life. So I'm like kind of like watching it in other people's life or seeing it in other people's lives. And that's been super entertaining if there's always like, you know, people just talking about gaming. You know, before I start Let's Plays, I mentioned that before sometimes. One of the reasons why I got into gaming is because before I had like, you know, like a friend in real life that I used to play games with a ton, and he usually didn't like to play games, but he liked to experience games. So I was the one playing, he was the one watching. Well, we would just chit chat about other stuff too while playing. So that's very similar to the content I watch, right? But yeah, I'm not watching any like solo Let's Plays anymore, I don't think. Except for people I consider friends or have been watching for a long time. So that's like the third category, like friends or long-time personalities that I've been sub to. So Nopyet, for example, is a friend. I'll watch his stuff because it's entertaining to me. Etho, you know, I've been watching him for many years, and it's just like, again, it's this personality that I watch. I don't care what he plays at all. Like, he can play Minesweeper, and I would watch it. It doesn't matter. It's just like his personality at this point that I enjoy. Same with like Iskal, for example. I don't watch his stuff too often anymore recently either, because it's a lot of like vanilla Minecraft, and I'm kind of like I have it on the side once in a while, but I actually enjoy his streams quite a bit though. But yeah, I haven't catched them in a while either. And you know, those kind of people. So there really isn't anything I'm making right now is nothing I'm watching, and I think that's why I keep feeling bored by my own stuff, you know, because I'm making stuff that I thought I watch and like, but I don't really anymore. I mean, it's not like I completely dislike it. For example, the Minecraft stuff, you know, there's something fun about crafting an episode like this, where it's like you kind of have a goal and you try to, you know, accomplish that goal in an episode, and you do cuts to make it all, you know, compact into 30 minutes or so. But it's also a lot of work to do that kind of stuff, and I feel like with certain packs I'm playing nowadays, not knowing certain mods, etc., it's much more difficult to do that, right? Because let's say in Enigmatica 2 expert mods, I can have a plan of being like, okay, today we're gonna do this machine or this mechanic, and you know, I do a little bit of research and see if it works, if I can even do it. And most often it seems like I could, but then, you know, you always run into issues where like, oh, I didn't see this one item in this one recipe that I can't actually get yet because, you know, it's expert mode, things are more difficult, and that kind of like screws up the whole like flow, and it's going to be a bit more messy. And it doesn't work as well then, right? It just creates way more work again that you have to deal with. But overall, it's like fun stuff still, right? But yeah, it's always a question of like how much of your time do you want to spend on something like this, right? Again, it's a hobby, so it should be fun, whatever you do. It shouldn't matter what you do, but, you know, it should be fun. But like after, because as you can see, I'm not finishing series often, right? A lot of my Minecraft series seem to end around episode 20. I notice. It always seems to be kind of like the number there. I mean, I'm not saying that Enigmatica is over or anything. I'm just saying that, you know, it happens. But I mean, in this case, it was a bit different too, because I had to stop because of the whole like job situation, which is still kind of going on, but hopefully not for much longer. I have some things lined up that might work out, but we'll see. But, you know, taking that extra time away from all of this stuff helps with like thinking about things, right? And like getting a new perspective on stuff. I think I was so busy making these videos that I didn't even have time to realize or to think if what I'm making there is actually what I want to make. If that makes any sense. Like you're so busy, you're like diving yourself into that you don't even like want to think about the rest, right? You're just like on autopilot. And that kind of became a problem in itself. But then there's the question of like, what would I do differently with my content? With Minecraft, I really don't know. I've been trying to stream again, and again, that's like one of the things I always really think and feel that streaming would suit me way more overall, but every time I do it after like a month or maybe longer, I seem to like always fall back into the same like opposite mode where I'm like, oh, maybe Let's Plays are better for me. Maybe streaming is a waste of time. Maybe all this content I'm producing here 3 hours a day or so is just going to waste because no one is seeing it, or because it like disappears after a while because stream bots don't stick around forever, etc. Right? There's always that kind of thought too. And I definitely I've definitely been more focused on numbers in the past than I am nowadays. It took me a really long time to not be focused on numbers for some reason. It's just like, well, it's a form of evaluation. Maybe that's the word. I'm not sure. If you do something, if you don't get any feedback or if you don't get positive feedback as a human, right, you just start to not want to do it anymore. That's just like our basic instinct. Getting some positive reinforcement helps us with sticking to something and doing something. That's just how we tick. Most of us anyway. So, like views is always a nice thing of like, ooh, someone is watching it. So clearly I'm doing something well. Which is it's not a healthy thing to do. Definitely not a good thing to do. Like you never want to focus on these kind of things. The act of doing it should be what should drive you to do it. That should be the reward in itself. But that took me a long time to I don't know, kind of realize or get used to, I guess, too. I'm much better about this nowadays. I really don't focus on that stuff too much anymore. As much as I can, I guess. Like, I had several streams now in the last 1 or 2 weeks where I streamed to, like, no one, like, 90% of the time, and I didn't care at all. Because, I was like, okay, I want to play this game right now. I'm not tired enough to not talk. So I might as well just stream it with the off chance that someone will watch it. And in fact, sometimes, when it's like, I don't know, I uploaded it to YouTube and then maybe someone watched it there, So it doesn't matter. In the moment, I had fun playing the game. It didn't matter if I was streaming it or not in that case, right? But I might as well do it. So I'm kind of curious if I would be better with streaming now than I was last time I did it for a long time, just because I feel like I changed a lot with, when it comes to what matters to me and not care too much about views. So I almost wanted to try a little bit of like a challenge, I guess. It's a dumb word, I know. But like, again, like a month's challenge of streaming or something, just to see as a personal, test project to see how I would react to this. And what I would think about it, and probably compare to this video in a month or something like this. And hey, it's April 1st. It's not an April Fool joke, but it's a good way to measure your time. The month just started, so maybe now is a good time to do that. In fact, I even have more time now to stream. Or not more time, but like the schedule works a bit better right now for me. So I'm actually tempted to try this out. Now, there's a big question of like, okay, why do you want to force yourself to stream every day, right? Why don't you just stream whenever you feel like streaming? It's that simple. And yes, it is that simple. And it should be that simple. If you just want to casually do it, right? I can't help but feel like I do want to try to accomplish something out of it or with it. I just can't help, doing that. Like, it's like, when I make a video, I could just not edit it and upload it and not care about the quality or if it would attract people or if it would be nice to watch or something, right? But I still do because I care about that myself. And it's a nice little challenge to do, right? Nice little project to push yourself a bit further and such. So, yeah, while I could say, okay, I'll just stream whenever I just, turn on the stream. Maybe, Monday morning I feel like playing, I'll play for a few hours. Then maybe Tuesday I don't. And then Wednesday night I feel like playing, I'll turn it on. But that's terrible for growth or gaining any viewership or anything, right? And I also think it's a bit almost unfair to people who want to watch you because, streams you can't plan. If you can't plan ahead when they come out, you just miss them, right? And yes, while you could watch the recordings, I think it's just much more fun to be part of the stream too, right? While you can chat and such. So I think there's just something about having a schedule or being regular that just might make this more interesting. As well as, I guess, also like, just having a consistent thing in your life kind of helps you sometimes. At this point, my day's so random that oftentimes nothing specific happens where I feel like I don't even know which day it is at this point anymore because they're just like blend together. And I feel like just having some sort of structure in your life helps so much, right? Like simple things like going to bed at the same time and, going to work at the same time and doing certain hobbies or activities at the same time. Maybe go to the gym always at 7 p.m. or something. That kind of stuff helps a lot. So saying like, okay, I always stream at 8 p.m. or something, I think it just helps a bit more with discipline and just getting better at sticking to things in general, right? Rather than just doing it random whenever you feel like. So I think I'm going to try this out. Now, I was thinking about like the last few weeks when I started streaming again. Like I've been streaming for a couple of weeks now. I think it's been a couple of weeks. I don't even remember. At least 2, I believe. I mostly try to do it in the morning. The main reason why I did it in the morning is because at that time, my girlfriend was also on job hunt and she goes to the gym pretty much every day, but she chose to go in the morning because of the sessions. They're better, there's less people, etc. Yes, we're all antisocial people. So she would come over like around noon or so and, then be here all day. And I felt like, oh, well, if she's not here in the morning, maybe I'll use that time to stream, right? So I can stream on my own. So that's why I kind of chose this. And also, I guess, kind of to force myself to get a bit more of a regular sleep schedule other than waking up at like 1 p.m. in the day, which sucks, right? So this way I would have to wake up at 8 a.m. or 7. And that worked pretty well, actually. The only thing is like I take a long time to wake up, I realize. Like it takes me really long. And I am a night person. I just like nighttime so much more. During the morning, there's like people outside, there's like noises, there's like cars, there's like constructions going on, neighbors are making noises. There's just always so much stuff going on that's distracting and almost nerve-wracking. At nighttime, it's chill, everyone's asleep, there's no constructions, there's not many cars outside, your neighbors are asleep, no one wants anything from you, and I just feel like it's more chill. And I like chill gaming moments. They're just more enjoyable to me. So morning streams would work better, I think, to cover a wider variety of time zones. If it's like 8 a.m. for me, then in Europe it's like somewhere around 4 p.m., 5 p.m., something like this. Whereas if I stream at night here, my time, like even if I stream at, let's say, 9 p.m., my time, PST, even on the East Coast, it would be midnight, right? That's already like getting late. But it's like 5 a.m. maybe or so in the morning in Europe, right? So that's also not ideal, depending on where you are, of course. But it's really difficult to cover everyone anyway. So you can't, it can't be perfect. It can't be perfect for everyone. So you kind of got to choose anyway. So I don't know. I think just because I think I would enjoy nighttime streams more, I'll probably switch to nighttime. And that's why I'm actually still up now too. I was going to bed at like midnight today. And that's when I like started to think about stuff. And I was like, maybe I'll stream in the morning. And I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to stay up till like 3 a.m. or so. And then wake up at 10. And then do my nighttime stream instead. From like maybe 9 p.m. to 12. Or maybe 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. or something like this. Like I haven't quite figured it out yet, right? But I'll figure it out during the day. And then probably try to stick for that for a month. Just as a little challenge. And I know for a fact the one thing that bothered me last time when I streamed for a long time was that, you know, Twitch VODs, which are like the streams, the previous streams, they only stick around for like 30 or 60 days, I believe, if you're affiliated, which I am, for like 60 days on Twitch, and then they get deleted. And I remember like before that, I don't know, I just want to like rewatch an old VOD. I think it was from the Alice Madness Returns playthrough I did many years ago. Because that was a fun playthrough, there was a lot of fun conversations in those like streams, and I wanted to rewatch them, but they don't exist anymore, right? And it's kind of sad. It's like on YouTube, you can go back to old series, which, you know, normally you might not want to do anyway because it's cringy, always watching your old stuff, because you tend to change so often. But it's nice to sometimes to go back and just like have that nostalgia feeling, right? So that's why I think just uploading streams directly to YouTube is always a nice way of keeping them alive. Now, uploading entire VODs to YouTube is like terrible for your... If you want to play the whole algorithm game, it's terrible. Like, YouTube does not promote this type of content whatsoever. It will damage your whole searchability and recommendation overall. Like, you know, if you upload like a bunch of stream VODs and then upload a regular episode, at this point, YouTube is probably already like, nah, man, your content is too random and too spread out, and no one cares about VODs. We're not going to recommend this other episode either. So in that case, it's terrible. That's why people usually have like an archive channel. I do have a second channel too that I used as an archive channel and then turned into that like variety gaming channel at one point. And then, you know, merged it back into our main channel. Because sometimes you just gotta try out things. And I've been uploading some VODs to this channel here, as you may have noticed. I'm not sure if... I think there were a couple that, like the Feed the Beast Ultimate one seemed to be appreciated by you guys, which is nice, because some people wanted to see that stuff, but they couldn't make it to the stream. So I think it's just cool, you know, if people are curious about this and can't make it to the stream, at least they are still there. But I mean, that's also a lot of content, right? If I stream like at least 3 hours or so a day, or 4 hours maybe, that's a lot to watch. But you know, I mean, it's a video form, so you can pick and choose whatever you want. So I might do that actually. And I noticed like even doing that, I always felt like almost too lazy to do. That's why like editing videos at the moment is just like... editing this video even is going to be annoying to me. I just don't want to like waste or spend the time doing that at the moment. I actually don't really enjoy the editing process in general. I don't think I ever have. Sometimes I have little ideas and then it's like fun to do it, but most of the time I feel like it's way too tedious. That's not the fun part about making videos, in my opinion, because there's so much like redundancy or repetitiveness to it, and so much time that you have to put into like even silly things of like, okay, when I record a video, first I need to like it's called remaxing. It's like changing the format from, I'm using MKV, I have to transform it into MP4. There's a reason why I record in MKV. It's because if OBS crashes or my PC crashes while recording, it won't corrupt the video. It will just like end it there. If I would record in MP4, it would corrupt the entire episode or recording session. Little technical details, but you know, I would have to convert this. It takes a while. Then I have to like import it into Sony Vegas, which takes a while. Then I have to drag it in, readjust the audio line, the video file. I have to do changes to it to adjust it. You know, cut out something. Like it's just like these little things, and that stuff you do with every episode, right? So, and I am terrible with repetitive work. I hate repetitive work. It bores me to death. So that's why I always like, after a while, I get bored of that. And that like hinders a lot of my enjoyment of playing just normal games too. For example, like Metro Exodus. I was so excited to play that game. And when it was here, I was really excited to record it the first session and then on second session. But then afterwards, it's like, okay, now I have to go through this like 4-hour episode or recording session and, you know, go through it again, cut out things I don't want to be in there, etc., and render it and upload it and make thumbnails and etc. Right? Like it's so much extra work that takes way longer than just playing the game. That at this point I'm like, I want to play the game, but I don't feel like recording it, so I haven't played it in a while, which is kind of a shame, because I really enjoyed the game itself. And I just think like that kind of stuff would be so much easier on the stream, where I'm like, okay, I feel like playing Metro right now, or today. I'll start out the stream, I'll play it for 3-4 hours, I'll stop the stream, and I'm done. Like, I'm happy. I have to export to YouTube, sure, but that's pretty much it, right? I always get through so many games on stream. That always has been the case. I finished so many games on stream in the past. I rarely finish games on YouTube. It just takes so long. Like, even if I regularly play it, it just takes really long. And then it takes, like, you know, if a series had 30 episodes or more, it takes a whole month before the entire thing is out. If that was like this month, March, there were like 4 or so games that came out that I want to play. So it's like way too many games all at once that I want to play. So I don't know. That's why I think like just streaming in general would, I think, benefit me more and make it more enjoyable for me. And I do really like the whole talking to someone or playing video games aspect of it. If no one is around, okay, then it's just recording like a let's play. If someone is around, it's like 10 times better or more. It's just so much fun to just being able to chit chat with people while playing games. To me, at least. When it comes to stuff like Minecraft, for example, I mean, there's an example of, you know, the Feed the Beast Ultimate. That's how the content would be. It's just a long session of a series, you know. And it was so much more enjoyable than I think if I would have played it as a let's play. Because oftentimes with Minecraft especially, there's so much extra content that needs to get cut out because it's boring and repetitive to watch on camera. I mean, some people say they like it and stuff, but the majority usually does not enjoy this stuff. I can guarantee it. No one watches you mine for 2 hours in a let's play. In a stream it's different because you get to chat and stuff, right? And talk about stuff directly. But on a video or something, it's different. And you know, usually when I record videos for Minecraft, it's like, okay, the parts where I'm talking and doing stuff is always super fun, but then all the stuff you don't see in between that I have to cut out, I just sit here, you know, like, and, you know, do it on my own and being quiet, and it's not as fun. It's always like kind of lonely. That's I think why I enjoy, or why I stop Minecraft Let's Plays after a certain amount of episodes, because the beginning of the game, there's barely anything you have to cut out because there's so much stuff to do, right? Like the early game is just like, do this, do this, do this, do this. But then the further on you go, the more you have to set up off camera, the more like farming you have to do and grinding and figuring stuff out that needs to get cut out. And then it becomes less fun, I think. That's kind of the goal. But I don't want to, like, you know, Enigmatica, for example, I wouldn't want this to end or anything. So I don't know how I would do that. If I would, like, start streaming Enigmatica 2 or something, or just come back to it in the future, or what have you, right? Still trying to figure this out. So anyway, man, this is so long. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you're still watching, though. Hopefully there's some gameplay. It's probably outward in the background. Super fun game that I've been enjoying. But yeah, I think I'm going to try this whole thing with the stream again. So I'm sorry if there's going to be a bunch of Twitch VOD spams on this channel and you don't like it. Just ignore it for now, maybe? Ideally. Or, you know, come over and watch on the stream directly. That would be nice too. And I understand that it won't be possible for a lot of people, unfortunately. I wish I could stream 24/7 so everyone could catch it, but, you know, that's not possible. That is not possible. So yeah, I'm gonna try it out and see how I feel. If I'm enjoying it after a month still, then I'll try to push myself even further and do it for longer. And if I feel like it's kind of like then you know, I'm gonna change it up again. But yeah, I think that's probably all I wanted to talk about. So yeah. Anyway, hope you guys maybe enjoyed this little ramble video. And yeah, hopefully I see you guys on Twitch or something in the future. But thanks a lot for watching, guys, and thanks a lot again for, you know, always for the support on this channel as well, for all the videos we make. It's always so nice to see. It does mean a lot, and I feel guilty for not continuing the stuff I'm making or made or started, but, you know, I don't think it would be fun for you guys if I'm not having fun either, so yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening, and see you guys soon. Bye-bye.